At the end of the day, did Trump have the power to remove documents from the White House in the way that he did or not? Because I think, just based on my very quick listening of the first few seconds of this particular video, we're going to sort of review in 2 seconds. I think they get it. I think Ari gets it. I mean, he basically said that this is all about Trump trying to wield power he no longer had. So, in a way, I'm not really that smart because other people understand this. So now he's trying to say it's the negative. The answer is negative. No, he did not. And for Trump's team, the answer is yes, he did. And I think that that would be my position, is that yes, he did. So Ari is going to go into a whole explanation of why Trump did not have the power to remove those documents. And I have to very respectfully, completely and totally disagree with him.
There is power. That's what we talk about, whether you're authorized to have this. That's a type of power or not. And the country is now facing this. And there will be people who are so extreme partisan that they already think he's guilty and convicted in their mind. That's not how our system works. Indeed, he's presumed innocent and he has to face facts in court. There are others who don't want to look at the facts and think that he can do no wrong. But in the main, what our test is going to be in court and as a nation is dealing with all of the evidence and facts that he was trying to wield unauthorized powers he no longer had. That's so right. We say these words.
Right. So there you have it. He's trying to wield unauthorized power he never had. I have to respectfully disagree with him. And that's just based on one sentence so far in the Constitution, in the Article 2, the very first sentence of Article 2. And again, I touched on this in the video right before this one, the definite article versus the indefinite article, that the executive power shall be in a president, okay, and not the president. A means any, and the means only one, right? So that being the case, it really comes down to, for me, this case comes down to the power of the president. The power of the president. Or no, let me correct that. The executive power of the office of the presidency of the United States is much broader than we have all been made to believe or understand based on the current wording in the Constitution. We have all been led to believe that the executive power pertains to the president, when in fact, that power arguably pertains to a president of the United States. Any president of the United States possesses executive powers. Period. Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, and George Bush all possess certain specific executive powers even post office occupancy that the ordinary citizen never has had and never will have, because they were never executives. They were never presidents, right? It is wrong-headed to believe, in my view, that the fact that an individual who was once an active occupant of the office of the presidency is no longer an active occupant of the office of the presidency is no longer an executive and has absolutely no executive powers. I think that's wrong-headed. And if it isn't wrong-headed, then I think the Constitution is wrong-headed, and they need to amend the Constitution by changing that indefinite article to the definite article. Because until that change is made, then the executive office and the executive powers are much broader than just the person who is the active occupant in the physical office of the presidency, right? It is much broader than that, not just because of the physical occupancy, but even the norms that we attribute to persons who were formerly actively in the occupancy of that office, right? We continue, for example, to provide them with access to classified information. They may not store that in their bathrooms at Mar-a-Lago or wherever else, but they do have special security clearance, my understanding is for life, to classified information because they continue post occupancy of that office to be part of the executive branch. Ari, so I have to very respectfully disagree with you.
No one's above the law. We say these words, you're a citizen now. Well, what does that mean? You could be a member of the military and have access to high-grade weapons that are not otherwise available. And when you leave the military, you turn them back in.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't mean to make light of this at all. I mean it quite literally and seriously.
Well, I disagree with you there. Again, I agree and I disagree. Let's put it that way. I agree that the head of the military of the United States, of any of the branches of the military, once he's no longer in the job, he's no longer in the job. That's true. He does not continue to have military privileges such that he continues to receive classified information in the same way. He continues to receive protection, whether it's Secret Service protection and so on and so forth, or his pensions. I mean, he gets a pension or whatever, but in a very different way. Okay. The office of the presidency, in my opinion, is completely different from any appointment of a military general. The office of the presidency is governed by the supreme law of the land. That's called the Constitution. No military personnel's job is governed by the Constitution. This is very, very important. It is materially important, right? It alters the scope of any discussion that you can have about two individuals who possess perhaps the same qualifications, one having been the president and one having been the very top of a branch of the military. These are apples and oranges, Ari, and you are a lawyer. You should know better.